What's up, G Show land, and welcome to another episode of the G Show Podcast. I am G1, and this is the Godzilla Block Party. And let me tell you, folks, it's been crazy these last couple of hours here, okay? We are pre-recording. It is Thursday night. We are doing this recording for Friday morning, afternoon, whatever your time zone is. But we are getting a lot of things coming out in Godzilla land right now that's making me very excited. But before I get into all that, let me introduce my panel, okay? As always, joining me is G95. What's up, brother?
Hello, G Show land.
Yes, sir. Again, coming in from Megalon land. What a dipstick. G73 is with us. What's up, brother?
It's going all right, guys. Konnichiwa.
That's right. And from Infant Island itself, we have someone new joining the podcast. It's first time. We have Mothra. What's up, brother?
Hey, everyone. Excited to be here.
And I am glad you are on the podcast finally. So, this is how we jump it off. G73 has done extensive research throughout the week, gathering information from Japan in regards to Shin Godzilla. And it's been a sort of slow week. But in the last several hours, shit's just been ramping up. So let's get on with it. G73, tell us what you got.
All right. First, I'm going to say that this whole week, I have been bored as hell because every time I went to look for stuff, it's been nothing but a goddamn fucking Godzilla rice paddy field. And the jet of the actor coming out of the fucking plane. And I did find the video of that, though, and I did post it, and it's the whole thing. And you see him walk out of the jet, and they have their own 96 Godzilla suit, you know, holding up a banner and moving his arms around, dancing as they're talking and promoting the jet and cutting the ribbon or whatever like that. So I was bored this whole week looking for stuff. Well, within the past hour... And, well, actually, a few days ago, just the one little bit is that before the past hour, I'll go into, we got into this piece of information that Godzilla will have purple atomic breath. And the news is for that is that so far only the people that go to Toho cinemas to see films can check that out. They are the only ones that have seen it. It has not leaked on the internet yet, and I mean yet because I will find it. And also, so we got the purple atomic breath, which we'll get into. But this past hour, wow! Not only did we get a scene shot of the film, of a shot of Godzilla from the movie, we also got a little explanation of the screenplay and the plot of where the film is going. And I will not go into that, but I did, however, post the link. So if you want to spoil it for yourself or just to get an idea of how this movie will be on Megalon, and I'm sure the other pages here will post it later too. But I posted a link, and it's from Cinema. It's a legitimate source. It's from Cinema JP, which is, I guess, is Japan Cinemas. And also, there's apparently, I'm still doing research on it, there has been pictures that just popped up on the internet of Shin Gojira in a mobile video game. And I thought it was just a mobile video game for something random, but then I found another picture, and it is the whole gang of Godzilla characters in a mobile game, not just Shin Gojira. So I am trying to see if that's a new game coming out, or if this is a game that's already out and they're adding characters. But for right now, this news is just now starting to heat up. And I have gotten my hype meter a little bit cooking today, and I'm kind of glad. So that's kind of cool what we got going on right now.
Yeah.
And that picture that we saw of Godzilla was just, in my opinion, gorgeous. Even though that big bulge was his knee that you see in the picture, I thought it looked dark. I thought it looked awesome.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, man, you've done fantastic work in the last couple of hours. Seriously, I've been blown away by the images coming out today, and I'm going to say something, man. G-Fest is tomorrow, or today, if you're listening to the podcast today, right now, because technically it's Friday. G-Fest starts, and we're getting a ton of information, and I haven't been to G-Fest in 16 years, but they gave us juicy tidbits for the upcoming Godzilla movie when I was there. For instance, I knew about Kiru being the resurrected, not resurrected, the using Godzilla's 1954's bones. They actually showed us that at G-Fest in 2002, I believe. 2001 or 2, I forget which one. But we were all blown away. Nobody else got to see that but us and, of course, people in Japan. So that was amazing. That being said, all of the hoopla the last couple of podcasts, if you heard me, beefing about this trailer. And then earlier this week, there was news, as G73 just said, that you probably only be able to see this in Toho cinemas. Not even in Japanese theaters, just Toho cinemas. I think we're going to get the trailer. I think we're going to get it at G-Fest. I believe everybody there is lucky sons of guns. And I'm going to say this. We were beefing last week with people in the know. I think they knew that the trailer's coming out. And this is just me being hypothetical here, because this is what I believe. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I honestly believe the wait has been so long that, yes, now, because it's so close to the movie's release date, now is a perfect time. G-Fest is here. G-Fest has become a humongous spectacle in the Godzilla community. And Toho knows that. So I believe Toho's been sitting on that trailer. I believe certain people that are in the know, that has ties with Toho or know people in Toho or people who know people in Toho, I think they knew and they had to be tight-lipped about it. And come G-Fest, they're all going to be pointing their fingers, laughing at us that are not at G-Fest because they get to see the trailer first. But we'll get to see it, I'm hoping, Saturday.
G1, one thing I forgot to mention, China got a Godzilla Resurgence trailer. And I don't know if you want to talk about that later, but that's something I want to say.
Well,
add that.
Unless there was new footage, it's pointless for me personally.
But it's about Godzilla Resurgence being released worldwide.
Well, we'll talk about. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that in a minute.
Okay.
Let me jump to the rest of the panel first, and I want to start with you, Mothra, because you're new.
Okay.
Does anything that you heard from this news, anything stand out? What do you want to talk about? Go for broke.
Well, I guess we're talking about the purple atomic ray. That is interesting to me because it kind of reminds me of, Godzilla 2000 when they brought back, Godzilla after an American release, and they want to do something different. So not just the design, but the atomic breath. And, the way, the fins glowed and the way he fans back in the day. And I do remember seeing that trailer for the first time. I was like, this is a very new look. Shot, a new noise, a sound effect with that. So if it's true, I do want to see it, of course, because we have not seen it. Is it a beam? Is it like the classic Godzilla where it's like more of like a smoke, where it like melts the tanks or whatever? We don't know how it is, but I am excited for that.
Awesome. G95, you've been quiet over there. It's time to hear your voice. What do you think?
Well, what do you want to know first? My thoughts on the...
Go for broke, man. What do you want to talk about?
All right, well, I'll start with the trailer thing because I had to skip out on the last podcast where you guys discussed the trailer, obviously.
Again.
I, at this point, don't really care anymore. Like, we're, what is it?
We're about...
2 weeks?
2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks from the movie coming out.
15 days.
Yeah, 15 days, so about 2 weeks. 2 weeks from the movie coming out, it's easier for me just to kind of, shut off the blinders and focus on the movie coming out.
Damn
I don't really care about a new trailer so much anymore. It would have been a good thing to get a while ago. It would have been a good thing to get, even just a couple weeks ago. But, it's just taking so long to come out that it's just easier for me to wait for the movie.
But let's not kid ourselves. If that trailer comes out in G-Fest, you're going to be all over it.
I was just getting to that actually.
I'm sorry. Sorry about jumping the gun there.
The idea of a new trailer coming out at G-Fest, something we hadn't considered or at least talked about on the podcast before today, gets me all hyped up and giddy like a little girl, and like I am the prospect of seeing a new trailer as early as Saturday or Sunday, like fuck yeah. But until I see it, I'm gonna be kind of just like, I'll just wait for the movie.
I agree.
I have friends who just don't watch trailers. I don't know how. I think they're monsters, but I'm kind of being like that now, just because it's just easier to wait for the movie. It's only 2 more weeks.
Okay,
now,
it is only 2 weeks. Right. But here's the thing with that. It's 2 weeks for the people in Japan. We don't know how fast that's going to get to us, if you know what I mean, going through those proper quote-unquote channels.
Uh-huh. No, I know what you mean. And I might have to go through some improper channels to see the movie as soon as possible.
Right.
As much as I wouldn't like to. I'm not a big pirating guy. But I'll do what I need to do.
Right.
And as for the purple atomic breath, fuck yeah, sounds awesome. I like blue. I like the red. Sounds cool. I mean, it's a new Godzilla. Why shouldn't he have some kind of new looking atomic breath? I mean, Heisei kind of introduced the whole red spiral thing, even though that was more of like a super power up kind of thing. I don't remember at what point in the Showa series it went from being kind of like Alex or Mothra said, that it was kind of turned from a smoke to an actual beam. But that was the change. Then came the red spiral, and then we got kind of like a reddish white kind of atomic breath in Godzilla 2000. I mean, the new Godzilla, new iteration, completely ignoring all events of previous Godzilla movies. It makes sense to me to have something new. You know, I don't think I know I've seen anything from anyone online who's like against the purple atomic breath, but I'm sure that they're out there.
Oh, I'm sure they are too. I love the idea of a purple breath Godzilla, especially for this look. You know I don't like the look. I've said it a billion times, but it's so different that if the breath... first off, purple's one of my favorite colors. The way this Godzilla looks, to spit, just blue... the purple makes... I think it's a better visual.
Vaporization.
Right. With the look of this particular Godzilla, I think it's just a better... look. I cannot wait. I hope it's purple. Again,
it blends in with the red on him really well, thinking about it.
But has this been confirmed, G73? Is it purple?
I have talked to a person. I've talked to 2 people, actually, that have made posts about it on Twitter, and they were telling me this is what they saw in Toho cinemas when they saw Finding Dory or Secret Life of Pets or whatever. They would talk to me about it.
They should have went to go see Independence Day Resurgence, but that's a tale for another time. Hey, Mothra, I really like the point you brought up, and G95 reiterated the fact that we've seen the beam change with a different iteration of Godzilla. And, when did it turn from the misty, smokish beam? I mean, but even in G54, there was some animated beam almost in 1 or 2 shots. But yeah, I like what you were saying, how it changes. Because if you even look at G14, that's a completely different looking beam. It's classic blue. The fins lit up, but the beam itself was kind of like homage to 54, yet...
Napalm looking.
Napalm, very good point there. So... yeah, man, you make a good point, man. I hope it is changed, just because it's a new iteration. I think it would be amazing to go in that direction. Anyhow, we have a bunch of pictures that came out today. I want to talk about the image that came out a couple of hours ago. That's a definite still from the movie, which was a low-angle shot of Godzilla coming up. That shot's coming up, and he just looked freaking awesome. He's in smoke. It's a day shot. I mean, holy crap! You talk about capturing Godzilla. That was beautiful. And again, I hate this look, but holy crap, man! We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I think in the ugliest Godzilla suits. When it comes to silhouettes, this one was fucking beautiful. Even though you could see detail in the thing, but it was a perfect silhouette shot. I loved it. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it. I know me and G73 seen it. You go. All right. So I'll start with you, Mothra. What did you think of it?
I liked it a lot. It kind of reminded me of, Godzilla 54, where, there was a lot of shots where it's from, like, a down angle, and it made him look like he's about to, like, stomp on you. Like, I just love those lower shots of him. It just made 54 feel a totally different movie, like the other later Godzilla movies, that they never really start doing that. And I feel like maybe this one they might want to capture that essence again. But to me, personally, I'm liking it a lot.
Nice. G95, your thoughts?
Love it. Looks badass. Said it a million times, I'm a fan of the design. The way that they seem to be releasing the stills of Godzilla for this movie, they really seem to be trying to drive the point home of, like, this Godzilla is massive and powerful, and he will just fuck your shit right up. Even if you just happen to be in the way, And I think they're, with the high definition shots that they have been releasing, the bowling pin, now infamous bowling pin one that we were all making fun of, that Godzilla still looks big and powerful and massive and frightening. And I think this shot, even though it's mostly a shot of Godzilla's knees and a little bit of the fins, it still gives off that presence.
It does. G73, your thoughts?
When I saw that photo, it reminded me of several things. For one, it made me feel intimidation. Like, if I was looking up and seeing this, it brought upon a really eerie feeling. Remember when Legendary came out and did their thing of Godzilla walking through the streets, and it's all the fog and everything, and he's walking through the buildings? This is, like, in my opinion, Toho's version of that, if that makes any sense. Where he's walking through the building and there's fog going by him and smoke and everything. It has that presence. And I liked it. I thought that was cool. It's my wallpaper now on my phone.
Nice.
So
I like that comparison. You know what? It does feel like that. But then it goes back to what I was saying a couple podcasts ago. Me and G95 had this conversation. Is Toho trying to one-up Legendary? Are they? Because it seems like, all right, we've gotten a couple of cool 54-esque shots. But then on the flip side, it is the biggest Godzilla now of all time. And like you just said, yes, it's very reminiscent of the G14, a couple of those shots. Look, I love it. I can't not love it. But there was another photo that came out that G73 you shared with me and in our little group we got going, a group chat.
The other one, right?
Yeah, the one with Luffy from One Piece?
I don't know.
Was it Luffy? I don't remember. But I know it was a magazine cover.
Yes.
And we were talking when you showed me that image, I fell in love with the look. I hate this shit, right? Holy crap. And I'm going to, as I do the editing for this, I'm going to put that picture up now. So for all you guys listening in right now, look at your TV screen or your computer screen, and you should see the image we're talking about right now. The eyes were not goofy. Holy shit. And that's all it needed to completely change my view on this look. I mean, granted, it still looks disgusting. But the goofy eye is gone. It looks like it's more focused. The eye in general, it looks reptilian, like you said, G73. It looks intelligent. It doesn't look like it's all over the place. Like if
It's
you were
menacing.
and exactly, absolutely, it looks menacing. It's not like. And seriously, the googly eye on this Shin Godzilla, it looks like when he walks, the eyeball just goes crazy. I hated that thing. I hated it. But this particular picture from this magazine cover was, holy crap, that's perfect. And I wish that's what, I hope that's what we get throughout this movie. Now, G95, I'm sure you've seen this picture.
Yes.
What were your thoughts about it?
I think it's fucking great. I've been, as much as I bash the movie, or bash the marketing of this movie, you guys know that I've talked or ranted many times about the just marketing for like merchandise. But when they actually put something out for the movie, a still, a magazine cover, a new image, it's always fucking awesome. And I wish we were getting more of that and not more of merchandise or promotion.
Save the toys for later.
Right.
It feels hollow, kind of. And when they release these images, that gets me way more excited than anything else they've done.
I agree. Mothra, what about you? Did you see this image that we're talking about?
Yeah, I did see it.
What are your thoughts?
I really liked it. Maybe I'm one of the few people that actually don't mind the boggly eyes, even though I totally understand why people are like very off about it, obviously. But I feel like it just goes with the whole look where, he was just, looks like he's just burned away. It could be part of the whole eyes being popped out, but I really do like this image. And if we can get like more shots of like the way he looks in the later parts of the movie or something, or he looks more menacing at night or something, I'm totally down. I would love it. I think people respect the look a lot more. Maybe if he starts healing or something, he'll look more menacing. I don't even know if they're gonna do that in the movie, but people in America and stuff, maybe they would respect him more. The googly eyes were not there, and it looks more like the cover.
Gotcha.
I agree with you, because me seeing it in a serious light, I have more respect for it, because that was my whole thing. I can get past the arms, I can get past the big thighs, but the face just makes it look like a kid with a crayon just edited it. And with it having a serious look to me, I'm like, all right, Godzilla, you can have your small arms, but if you look like a pissed off monster from hell, go ahead. So I agree with you there. I know I have more respect for it now that I've seen it like that.
Well, let's hope it stays like that. But I do agree with you, Mothra. And this is one of those topics of discussion that comes up frequently here. The regeneration factor. Will there be one in this movie? I personally hope so. I think we will get it. There've been some toys to come out, and again, maybe it's the detailing and the production for this particular toy is not as extensive or expensive as the production in an SH Monster Arts figure. Whatever, I believe. Even before that, though, this is going way back about a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago. There were these images that surfaced where it looked like a regenerated Shinji. Not only that, but you also have the Godzilla versus Evangelion images, that promo art. The first one to drop, that didn't look like your average Godzilla, yet it was a full-formed Godzilla. So I'm like, man, maybe that's what it looks like, completely regenerated. And Toho just, blew their load there. Who knows? But it was something to behold regardless. But yeah, that all being said, man, I guess we're all in agreement. These pictures that came out today, awesome stuff. It is completely different from all the merchandising and all the promotional material that we've seen of the same images over and over and over and over and over. Yes, you've got a rice patty. Yes, you've got rice cakes. Yes, you've got udon noodles. Yes, you've got hot dogs. But it's the same picture of Godzilla each and every time.
And Godzilla chicken fingers now.
Godzilla chicken. What?
I didn't mention that.
His hands look like chicken feet, so why not? I'm just saying. You guys can hate me later. I don't care. But so I guess we're all in agreement there. We've got most of that news out of the way. Now I want to jump on a topic near and dear to my heart because I'm not there right now and I'm upset. And that is G-Fest. Ladies and gentlemen in G-Show land, if you're watching this podcast, you must love Godzilla. If not, thanks for joining anyway. But G-Fest is the time of year where Godzilla fans from all over the country and sometimes the world comes together, go to Chicago. Mostly, it's pretty much in Chicago. It's somewhere on the outskirts of Chicago. It's in Illinois. And there is a weekend convention dedicated to the giant monsters, specifically Godzilla. And I've been there twice. Last time I was there 2002. I went there 2001 and 2. I loved every minute of it. They took a lot of money from me both times. I could care less because I had the utmost fun doing it, being there. I was there with my wife. She just put up with it, but she had a good time. She actually enjoyed it. And I was like, well, that works for me. So I've gotten to know a couple of people this past year as early as a couple of days ago, and they're on their way there now. Well, they're there now, and they're bringing their ladies for the first time. They're going for the first time, and I just wish them nothing but the best and have a great time. And if you can score more than one Shin Goji figure, I'm G1. I'll give you my P.O. box. You can send it this way. I love you to death. But let me ask you guys, man. I don't know if you guys ever been to G-Fest, but if you had the opportunity to go, okay, of course you would go. I don't know. Who am I kidding? Let me put it like this. What excites you most about G-Fest? Is it the merchandise? Is it the prospect of seeing brand new things, or the prospect of meeting like-minded G-fans? Let's start with you, G73.
To me, just me, because I would love to go, and I'm actually planning maybe to go next year. I think that would be a lot of fun, but that's a lot of money I have to save up. But however, back on the topic, just going in general for me, because it's a big energy ball of Godzilla. No matter if it's people or figures or little snippets of movies here and there, it's just Godzilla, and that is the thing that drives 99.7% of my heart. And that would drive me just to a whole new world, and I would love to be there. And also because I know famous, a lot of the Godzilla actors go there every once in a while. Toho's, cast like Akira Takarada, Robert Scott, and several others. It would be great to meet them and stuff, and I would love it. It would just be a big joy to me.
Awesome. G95, what about you?
Of course I would love to go. Now that I have a better job and making a little bit more money, it is within the realm of possibility for me to go someday. Oh, maybe next year, maybe the year after, but hopefully within the next 2 to 5 years, I'll be able to afford to go.
Legendary cycle would be cool to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess what interests me the most would be meeting the like-minded people. I mean, you've been there. It sounds like you had a fucking phenomenal time, and you met a lot of great people. That really appeals to me. I mean, all the great people I've met in the community just over Facebook, like you, lovely gentlemen. Mothra, that includes you. I know you're new, but you seem cool. And that, our previous guests like Leonard or Zilla or Z1, excuse me.
Z1.
And that Anthony guy, he's weird though.
Yeah, he's okay. But yeah, just to meet these people in person would be great. That, and the merch. They would steal every dollar from me if I would happily go homeless if I could just have a way to cart around my Godzilla shit that got stolen from me in Chicago.
I've already seen 2 friends of mine have Shin Gojira figures now, and I'm really jealous.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. So is that it, G95?
I believe so.
Let's jump to you, Mothra. What would be your shining moment in G-Fest? What appeals to you?
I would say everything, because I've been to conventions before, and I love the merchandise, which I'll get as much as I can. I love people in costumes, cosplaying, whatever they like from the series. So, be a monster to characters in the series. I'm sure they'll do everything. And even to trailers for new movies or anime or cartoons, whatever Godzilla will have, they'll have it there. And I remember the earliest memory I had was reading a old Godzilla back in the day, and it was 2001 or 2002, and had pictures of G-Fest. And that was the first time I ever knew what a convention was. And I saw people excited, bringing their kids, bringing their, lovers, whatever, and everyone's having fun. And I was like, wow, what is this? Is this a convention? And they got me to the whole convention thing. Now, next year, hopefully I'll go, because I have a better job and all that. But I would love to go, because I've been to so many conventions, but not Godzilla. Godzilla's on my top of my priority, number 1 on my list. So I would love to go.
I hear you. Well, I'll tell you what. Next year I'm planning to go. But there's something standing in the way if it comes out like this year. And that is Star Wars Celebration in Orlando. My wife and child, because I have a daughter that loves Disney World. My wife loves Universal and Harry Potter. And I'm like, I love the Harry Potter Butterbeer. I can't lie. I enjoyed the shit out of it. It gave me the shits, but I drank it anyway. But if it drops the same weekend like now, this weekend, we have not only Star Wars Celebration, but we have G-Fest. And it's a mind fuck for myself. I know G95, you understand what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Next year, I plan on going to G-Fest. Next year, I plan on going to Star Wars Celebration. If they fall on the same weekend, it is my job to somehow interrupt one or the other to push it to the following weekend, so I can go to both. But I will say this. If we do somehow are able to get up the funds to go to G-Fest, man, we'll bunk together the G-Show room. It'll be a fucking party. Every night we're podcasting live from G-Fest. It's the G-Show podcast. This is the Godzilla Block Party.
So I'll be able to drink.
Yeah. We'll podcast from the bar. It'd be awesome. No, but seriously, I want to go next year. That is high on my priority list. But if Star Wars is also that weekend, I might be outmanned because Disney, because it's going to be in Orlando. And also, all the Episode 8 news.
I'll build a drone, and I'll fly it to Orlando and record it all.
Yes, that'll work. Put my face on it. It'll like hang out in the room with my family. I'm there in mechanical spirit. But no, seriously, if in all honesty, I plan on being at G-Fest next year. I cannot wait. I am so jealous of everybody going there, especially if the trailer drops either today, which is technically Friday, even though we're recording Thursday, or tomorrow, Saturday. So I'll miss out on that. I can take it. I can eat that one up because we've got a lot of work to do here at G-Show Studio still. But yeah, next year, if we could somehow all get together, that would be a G-Fest to remember. The year the G-Show took over G-Fest. I don't think it'll come to that, but it just might. I'm just saying. So, yes, but definitely, you guys, we all bunk together in one room. It'd be a freaking riot. It'd be fun. And we'll get that Anthony guy, too. You hear me, Shinji? Shout out to the GVA page. Salute. All right, well, shit. Was that all the news? I think we covered a lot in the news sphere. We did what we had to do. Oh, we didn't. I want to talk about the runtime of the movie. So, apparently,
there's also some things that I wanted to discuss too that we said we'll hold off.
well, we could get on that. Well, first off, we're not going to talk. We can't.
Talk about the runtime.
We can't overdo the spoilers, okay? Because I don't want to know nothing because I want to see the movie.
I want to talk about that.
All right, but let's talk about the runtime of this movie. It's clocking in at what is 121, 122 minutes, a little over 2 hours.
120 exactly. It said.
Oh, 120. All right, so 2 hours on the dot. That's not bad for a Godzilla movie. I think the only other one to do that was.
It's the longest Toho movie.
It's the longest Toho movie, right? Legendary is the only one to clock in at about that time. That's very exciting news. But again, is this Toho going, let's get bigger than Legendary? You see what I'm saying? It's just like, come on, Toho. I love you to death.
There's going to be 2 monsters Godzilla fights, and they ain't going to show them.
Because they're both already absorbed in his tail. That's another thing I want to talk about.
Or his leg.
Yeah. So, all right. Runtime, real quick. Let's run through that because there's, like Chase just mentioned, there's something I want to talk about. Mothra, what do you think about the 2-hour runtime for Shin Godzilla?
I'm fine with it. I was actually looking up very quick how long the original Godzilla was, and that was 96 minutes. So this is a half hour longer than that one. So if we can get more detail, and I remember you were talking about one of the early podcasts, if they can explain why Godzilla looks like that or something, that could be an extra 10 to 20 minutes explanation or what is Godzilla, because they kind of talked about it in the original, but they never really discussed about animal-wise, what is he? All that stuff, so maybe they can do more explanation in this movie about what is Godzilla, so that'll be interesting if they can pull that off.
I like that you remembered that. Somebody's watching the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. G95, what about you? What do you think about the 2-hour runtime?
Sure, sounds cool. That's about it.
See, look at that. Perfect, to the point, easy going. G73.
It makes me wonder what the hell is secretive about this movie. I like the fact that it's 2 hours long. I do because, more Godzilla. But it makes me wonder what is going to be the big meat and potatoes to this movie. And I think 2 hours long. If it was an hour and 45 minutes, I think we would get nothing too exciting. But for a 2-hour-long movie, and especially it being Toho's longest Godzilla movie, there has to be something worthwhile in here. So let's bring it on.
Not only Toho's longest Godzilla movie, it's probably their biggest budget-wise Godzilla movie. It's definitely the biggest Godzilla Toho's ever produced. So that all leads to the tail thing and the idea, because there was something that came out, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, that G73 had brought to my attention. The translation was broken. It's very hard with the translating apps we have. The translation was broken, but they were calling Godzilla an organism. Kind of sounds like Muto, I'm just saying. An organism, and there's something to the effect that there's like all of these organisms that form Godzilla, which kind of sounds like GMK when the spirits of the dead resurrected Godzilla. So it's like, what the hell is going on over there? What are they thinking? What are they doing? And again, I'm not mad because I haven't seen this movie. I have no idea, and I refuse to read if G73's info is accurate. I refuse to read the script leak. I don't want to see that until after I see the movie. Then I'll read the script. I might not even understand it to begin with. So that being said, because it's probably in Japanese.
It came from Japanese cinemas, which is all their movie news. So maybe I would be shocked if it wasn't.
Is it a plot synapsis, or is it like
it is
gist of the movie?
All right, they talk about the screenplay and what they want this movie to be about.
See, I don't know, man. That's touchy. That's a touchy subject. I don't want to share it because, to be honest, what I read though, it sounds cool. It sounds really cool. Okay, so what we'll do, G Sirland, if you guys want to take it upon yourself to see it, we'll post that link in the video description. We'll post the link, and then you guys can click on it at your own discretion and check it out for yourselves. I can hold out for 15 more days or more because, again, I don't know when I'm going to see it. But I'm hoping I see it before August. I'm just saying. Shit. I doubt it'll be that fast.
I'm flying us all to Japan, okay?
Huh?
We'll see it in Japan. I'm flying us all out.
Look at that. Screw you, G-Fest. We're going to Japan. But yeah, okay. So this whole idea of this Godzilla being this organism created or formed by all of this other organism stuff, fish and whales and I don't know. It was a crazy translation, like I said. So I'm going to start with you, G95, because I know you've seen this translation.
He complains the most about the translation too. So I want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, so let's get go. Let's go.
I just think it's a dumb idea. It's the same thing with like, Godzilla is made of like he's part lava, and that's why he looks like that. Fuck that. That's dumb. That's fucking dumb. That's such an easy idea to go with. It's the easy way out for making a new monster. And I mean, if they want this movie to have the cultural significance that they were like, they're saying like, yeah, it's gonna match the cultural significance as 54. It's gonna be it's gonna be relevant to today's issues as 54 was then. If they do that, they're just throwing that fucking idea out the window, because that's like, unless they want to redo Hedorah and be like, oh yeah, pollution is making it be like this, and like radiation and pollution equals organisms forming together to make Godzilla. No, that's dumb.
He's like the Avatar.
Listen,
oh god.
If Hedorah was to be in this movie, well then fuck everything. I love it.
Nothing against Hedorah. I'm just saying, like, if they somehow use, like, I guess, like, the two biggest issues right now, I mean, not going beyond socially and, like, kind of worldwide environmental sort of thing would be, like, weapons of mass destruction and, like, what we're doing to the Earth, aka pollution.
I thought you were gonna say Trump and Hillary, but no, I'm glad you kept the politics out of this.
Those are, like, that's social issues. This is like world issues. So it would be those two biggest things. It would be like WMDs and pollution.
Right.
Now, if they want to try to make it like culturally significant or socially relevant today, if they did go down this incredibly stupid thing of Godzilla being a mashup of all these organisms, that's how I could see them doing it. Would be like a combination of pollution or radiation or something of the sort, and that's dumb as shit. That kind of takes away all of the power of Godzilla to me.
Yeah, it's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Goji right there.
Well, hey, Ray did correct us though. It wasn't that he was made of lava; it was just referenced lava.
No, yeah, I know, but he was just making a point there.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to say that because
it was referenced.
And from now on, I because of that and how much that idea just bothers me, I tend to not
You don't like Magmazilla
anymore. What?
You don't like Magmazilla?
No, stop.
Mothra, what about you, man? Have you read that link? I'm sure G73 shared it on his Megalon page. He might have even shared it on GVA. Have you? Did you, G73, share that?
Yeah, I did. I share all my stuff to all three of the pages.
Okay, so Mothra, did you by any chance read that description, that translated description?
I read a little bit of it, but I stopped myself in case it was spoilers.
I like you, man. I like you a lot.
I wasn't enjoying it, but I was reading into it, and I was like, no, I can't. I want to be surprised with this movie. But I did think about what you guys were just talking about, and then I was thinking of GMK, because it was brought up. Maybe it's an idea like GMK where we didn't even think of. It's just a totally new idea that we have no idea. Because before GMK came out, we just saw the trailers. We had no idea that Godzilla was going to be like a spirit type thing. No one saw that coming.
Right.
And maybe we want to surprise people with this. Kind of like there's no trailers. There's no, talks about the story really. So maybe this is a totally different Godzilla in a totally different world. Maybe there was a war that happened or, a nuclear war that happened and it made Godzilla. We have no idea. I'm just guessing, but, we don't know.
I hear you. I'm echoing G95 before I jump to you, G73. I echo G95 sentiments. A Teenage Mutant Ninja Gojira is not the way to go. I don't want to have an atomic explosion in the ocean that melted all the ocean life and then brought it back together and created Godzilla. No. That's terrible. I don't think that's where they're going. Again, I think it's something lost in translation. But we don't know until we see it, which I can't wait for. So let's jump to you, G73. You were the one that broke that article to us. What were your opinions?
Gosh, out of all the reading I've been doing, sheesh. I'm just going to go ahead and make myself put that to the side. I don't think he's going to be made up of many, many things. I think that was just as another, like, an idea of a reference where they were going from in that article. I think they just wanted to envision that, they're saying, like, well, Godzilla could be brought up of many, many things. There were so many things said in that article that made me question everything said above. But from what I read today, I'll say that they have a
Wait a minute, before you go on.
I'm not going to say nothing about it. I'm just going to give the basic.
No spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say this, that where they're wanting to take this Godzilla film sounds really, really cool.
Okay, I like that.
For Godzilla to be made up of all these little things, seahorses and dead skeletons and all that shit, I don't think that's where they're going to do, because it would make no sense for once. And from where they're trying to go with this, they're almost kind of, it's something I believe we haven't, I would say, seen before. And I just don't think that they're going to ruin that with him being made up of many, having him be the avatar of nature, where he's made up of, wind, earth, and fire, and water. It sounds like they have a direct, distinct idea where they want to explain this Godzilla, where he's coming from, why he's here, and they practically did explain. They explained what, So
that's a spoiler. Don't give it to us.
Yeah, I'm not going to give it to you, but they shed a little bit of light on it, and it just doesn't sound like this movie's going to be silly.
I'm calling it right now. They shed a little lightning. He is Frankenstein Godzilla. He is a zombie. It is dead. It's been resurrected. That's why it looks like that. It's not regenerating. It's actually falling apart. That's the googly eye thing. The eyeball's going to fall out. It's going to give it the classic zombie look. Yeah. And I'm going to wind up loving this fucking movie.
the magma thing, though, him having lava in him, it worked for burning Godzilla because that was radiation and it wasn't lava, but I don't know.
Well, let me put it like this. Going off of your point, of what you said, not your point, but what you said you read, where they're trying to make it cool, like something we've never seen before. Maybe this isn't a regenerating Godzilla. So I'm not saying, because I don't want to know. I don't know. I'm not saying that this is lava flow, and the thing it said referenced as, but if it was, and he couldn't regenerate.
Another that article about the lava flow, later on they talk about it referencing blood. So,
well, I think that's what everybody was getting. It looks like it's glowing, yes, but he's damaged, obviously fucked up.
Let's put it this way. I like the idea of it just being radiation overflowing in his body. So that's what I want to go with on this.
Scar tissue, though. It's undeniably scar tissue.
Yes.
Yeah. Because here's evidence. Here's what I think. The burning Godzilla with radiation, it was pulsating and smoking, right? That's what kind of like radiation is. But this one is just kind of like you've seen the trailers. It's not pulsating or anything. It's just one color and it doesn't move. It's not like lava where it's moving or pulsating or going from dim to bright. It's just one thing, almost like blood. It's just there. It's just stuck like that. So it could be just blood or exposed muscle or something. That's what I think it is.
I agree. I'm going to buy the tissue theory. It's scar tissue. You see, back in my day, we used to cut your finger and you damn near cut it off. You'd be like, oh shit, you can see the meat. That's what it is. You can see Godzilla's meat, in the inside. It's disgusting. But yeah, I totally agree with you, Mothra. and UG95. I think it's scar tissue. And I know G73 is not saying that it ain't. But I the comparisons.
It sounds like a lot of the articles, or at least that one, are the Japanese equivalent to Movie Pilot. Just kind of going a little bit too rampant with speculation, like, it's fucking lava!
Movie Pilot be like, in Star Wars Rogue One, Darth Vader comes and finds his son Luke Skywalker. And you'd be like, what the
like
fuck?
Dead Central, geesh. Bloody disgusting, Dead Central, gosh.
Well, I like that page. I can't lie. Bloody Discussion. I follow them for horror, which is a completely different podcast.
Yeah, they're...
Yeah.
Bloody Disgusting and Dread Central are at least pretty good about not going too crazy with speculation as Movie Pilot does.
Yes.
Or some, like, Cinema Blend.
Right.
Yeah, oh gosh.
Yeah, Cinema Blend scares me. But, let's jump back onto topic. And before I let G73, because I know he wants to say something, it's time in the podcast to let the newbie, which is you, Mothra, say his piece on how he feels about Shin Gojira. Everything he's seen from the first trailer to today. What are your thoughts on it? How do you feel about it? Go for broke.
All right. Oh man, where to start? Well, one thing, because I do want to compare it to G 2014 a little bit, where in those trailers they were very scarce on showing Godzilla at all. They want to show the human plot, and that was a serious film. Right off the bat, the first scene in the first trailer was Godzilla roaring at nighttime with those googly eyes. They were not scared at all to show him, and they showed him a lot in the daytime. I love the daytime scenes because that's rare in a Godzilla movie. You know, it seemed like most of the scenes were shot in day. And I think they really want to look different compared to the American Godzilla. So kind of like, like with Zilla to 2000. And in 2000, they drastically changed the look. Big spines. His face was totally different from anything we've seen. And a lot of people, were a little, skeptic of it. Like, they were a little worried. But, when the movie came and the way he moved, and it fit the movie. And I feel like this Godzilla, and if there's a good story with it, it might fit the theme of this Godzilla, The same thing with GMK, with the white eyes. A lot of people were pissed about the white eyes. I remember reading about that in 2002.
I love the white eyes.
And now, it's one of the best, Godzilla movies, at least to many fans.
Yes.
They love the look. They love the way it is because it's the theme of that movie. So if they can pull it off, this might go with the theme of this movie. And that's my feeling of it. I actually love it. If I can see the movie and love it, then I'll like this Godzilla. I like the direction they're going with it. Totally new. It's keeping me on my toes. So for me, I like it.
All right. Shit, you have brought something up now, and I completely forgot because that's how I do sometimes on the G Show. Not sometimes. Pretty much every fucking podcast. But no, all right. Thank you for that. You like it. Excited about it. Oh, that's what I was going to say. At the beginning of your comment there, at the beginning of your spiel, it sounded like G95 verbatim. You go back and watch a couple of those older podcasts when we start talking, when we first started this, and if I'm not mistaken, it might have been our trailer reaction video. That was our first Godzilla podcast together. He pretty much said exactly what you just said, right at the top of what you said, almost exact. I think he has.
It was pretty spot on.
Yeah, he has a transcript. but no, good.
I'm quotable.
You are. I quote you all the time, but it's off camera. But thank you, Mothra. All right, so you dig it so far. Everybody that has been on this podcast, save for 2 people, have loved it, and those 2 people, myself, G1, and Z1. That's right. We just don't like the look. But again, I can't hate it until I see why. But I do, real quick, before I get to G73, I want to say something you touched upon earlier. I want to say this. I forgot who touched upon it. I don't believe we are going to get an explanation as to why Godzilla looks like this anymore. And the reason why is because this is a standalone, brand new, nothing to do with anything else Godzilla. So what I'm thinking is, nuclear missiles, whatever the case may be. Because I can't, in my wildest imagination, fathom junk, waste, things to that nature. You know, unless a fucking meteor comes down and smashes Godzilla in the face. You know, honestly. So what I'm thinking is there's going to be some kind of event that, let's put it like this, in the Heisei series, the meteor crashed into the ocean and Godzilla vs. Mothra woke Godzilla up from his slumber. Something to that effect is going to happen. The difference is it's going to hit Godzilla, and Godzilla is going to wake up and be dying.
Imagine how cool that would be to see, like, actually happen.
Yes, but I don't think we're going to get that. I think we're going to get, because there was the early plot synapsis, which wasn't, no spoilers, but basically it sounded something straight out of GMK, where there was like, and even Destroyer, where there was like some kind of commotion in a tunnel. They were hearing strange noises, and then out pops this quote-unquote organism. Oh, I hate that damn word. And it's Godzilla. So I'm thinking that whatever happens is going to happen. We're not going to see Godzilla get decimated. He's just going to come out and look like he's, you know, falling apart the way he looks like in the trailers. Yeah. So that's something I just wanted to throw out there.
I'll tell you guys this. With that thing that was just released today, though, from Japan Cinema, be careful on the internet because people are going to be talking about it.
Well, listen. So, I know how to stop myself, kind of like what Mothra said. Mothra was like, I stopped reading at a certain point. That's what I do. I stopped reading at a certain point. But if you're going to tell me, I'm going to believe you, obviously, right? You're part of the show because you do your fact checks. If it's some random dude, you know, and I don't know him from a hole in the wall, and I read something and he's like, let's just say his name is G1, and he says, this is actually a direct sequel to Godzilla 1984, and this is the Godzilla coming out of the volcano. Let's just say hypothetically. I don't know whether to believe him or not. I got to see the movie. And what if he's right? What if he's right? But again, I digress. So yeah, if it's coming from you, I'll trust what you're saying. But if it's somebody I don't know, then if I see some offshoot comment, it's all right. But
I mean, I'll be shocked if this is not true at all. But this page that I keep going to, this is the page that I keep getting everything. They do not just Godzilla. They do everything. It's like Japanese cinema's main, Japan's main news article for movies.
All right, so, well, we'll keep that in mind. Now I'm going to let you spiel what you want to spiel.
It's nothing that important. I just wanted to mention, this is in honor of Leonard or Manda, but now he's Gorgo.
Which I sent him a message today, and I was like, dude, did you just Brexit the Toho Kaiju family? He totally did.
It's because he wanted to be something. Well, he didn't say this, but Britain's kaiju.
It makes sense. It makes total sense. But go ahead. What were you saying?
But anyways, 2 nights ago, China released their trailer for Godzilla Resurgence.
Oh, this is a topic I want to talk about. Go ahead.
Yeah, it comes out August 12th in China. Now, Gorgo, Leonard, he made an excellent point that I didn't even think about. Does this mean that Toho is, in fact, planning to release this movie worldwide? Is it possible we may still see it make landfall in America in cinemas? Still, maybe not in, many, many theaters. Maybe it's like a little limited release. But it does, in fact, have a release date in China. So what does this potentially mean?
I like that you asked that question. Let's jump right to G95. What are your thoughts? That was a great question.
I don't think we're gonna get it over here. At least China might see a limited release. Countries kind of surrounding Japan, which is pretty much just China. I can see getting a super small release, but anything other than that, nah. I don't think Toho would make any money off of it, even if it was just a couple of theaters.
Killer.
It's what I do. It's my lot in life.
You thrive off my tears.
All
A little
right.
bit.
So that's all you had to say?
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, Mothra, what about you? That question's a pretty good question.
Maybe, this is what I think, because China is like the second biggest country in terms of like for movies, and they're really important. So maybe Toho was like, if it does well here, can we distribute it to the West? Now, Attack on Titan, they brought it out in China too, like the second country out of Japan, and they did as a test, and it did pretty okay in terms of sales, not in reviews, but ticket sales anyway, and they did a limited release in the U.S., as I'm sure you guys remember, and that was like, I think Attack on Titan was released around like June or July, and then here it was released in September.
Yes.
Like September 10th or something like that. So they might go that route if Shin Godzilla does decent in Japan and China. They might have a limited release here. So that's what I think.
All right, well, here's what I think, because it's a good question. I don't think we'll know anything for certain until G-Fest officially starts. Where I'm just saying again, because it is absolutely crazy and mind-fucking-boggling when you think about we have gotten all of that promotion with the same images, and then all of a sudden, the day before G-Fest, and technically, G-Fest starts today, which is, again, ladies and gentlemen, we're recording this on Thursday for posting up on Friday. So, G-Fest pretty much starts Thursday. You have your people going there, congregating there, and there's a couple of people that have been there for so long, they're good friends, and they do what they got to do, and then Friday, the festivities start. It is not out of the realm of possibility that Toho, because they understand and they know about G-Fest, they knew about I'm telling you this because I was there. Toho themselves gave G-Fest the first trailer to Godzilla X Mechagodzilla. I was there. I got to see the very first trailer. I didn't even know that was happening. It was a shock to everybody, and it was one of the most beautiful things, because again, like at the top of the show, when you get together with a bunch of like-minded people loving the same thing, in person is so much different than over the freaking keyboard where you get your trolls talking shit. Because I guarantee you this, any one of those trolls go to G-Fest is a completely different tune. Everybody loves each other. Everybody loves each other. It is because it is a camaraderie and the energy is there. And I saw it. I was there firsthand. I saw Godzilla X Mechagodzilla, the first trailer, and everybody was floored. Personally, I don't like the movie. But when I saw that trailer, I was like, holy shit! I believe it is not out of the realm of possibility that the way things are going now, all of my beef up until this point, G-Fest is the spot Toho has been waiting for to unleash everything. The trailer, part 2, all right? The trailer I want. And whether or not it will get a theatrical release in the States. Now, I don't believe it will be a widespread release like Godzilla 2000. It's too late in the game for that. We would have known about that. There would have had to been marketing. There would have had to been promotion for that already. You can't do that 2 weeks in advance. 2 weeks before the movie drops. It's just ridiculous. Unless they plan on bringing it out, let's say, in December. But the fucked up thing with that is Star Wars is in December, and I'm sure Toho knows about that. So you
no competition.
No competition. If anything, it would be a November release, which would be awesome because it would coincide with Godzilla's 62nd anniversary?
Yeah, 62nd.
That would be amazing. That would be fucking dope if they were going to do that. I don't think it would be a wide release. It would be limited, like G95 said, like Mothra said. I believe it would be a limited thing, the way Attack on Titan was, the way Dragon Ball Z Resurrection of F was. We're in that zone. I said this on the very first Godzilla podcast where me and G95 did the review. What I would like to see is instead of it coming to American shores and select theaters, where not everybody in the States is going to be able to see it, or in that matter, Europe, or Britain, where, Gorgo is. Leonard, my man, shout outs to Leonard, Gorgo. I would like to see some VOD, some video on demand. A limited release here on video on demand, because then everybody got internet. For $10, Okay? Everybody can see that. And if they were to do that for $10, Toho would make a fucking killing out here. Because now people don't have to go to the movie theaters. They can sit down in their house. They can put the computer on. They can put their Xbox or PlayStation on. They can put their Roku, their Apple TV, their Amazon box, all of that shit, their cable channels, and go to On Demand and get to watch Godzilla Resurgence in the comfort of their own home for $10 and, for a 24-hour period. And Toho would fucking cash in. They would cash in. Because there are that many fans out here. So I think G-Fest is the place. We're going to get a second trailer. I really hope we do. I believe
I'm
we'll
going to be pissed if we have to go live at 12 a.m. tonight.
Well, we won't go live at 12 a.m. tonight because I got to go to work tomorrow morning. But we will go live tomorrow if that's the case. Or look out Saturday. So I'm just saying.
I got to take off work early, guys.
I wish I can, but I can't. I'm stuck. But what I'm saying is, I believe we'll get something at G-Fest. We will get absolute, definitely news. And I believe those people who we get our news from here in the States knew about it and had to play coy. And last Friday was a perfect example of that. We did a podcast on that last weekend and put it up on Sunday. They know if this all plays out the way I think it will, and I really believe it will, they knew we were getting something for G-Fest because Toho understands how big G-Fest is in America. They understand it. They understood it 16 years ago. Okay? Godzilla movies were still being made when I went to G-Fest. We had such a big lull between Final Wars and G14 that G-Fest, it was all right. Don't get me wrong. G-Fest is still G-Fest. But there was just nothing to get people excited about until Godzilla 14. Now, Toho is making a new Godzilla movie. There's something to be excited about. Everybody that's going there are lucky. I love you motherfuckers, but I hate you at the same time. And I'm just saying that I honestly believe within this weekend, we're going to have some awesome news drop. Toho has been trolling us, and you know what? I'm okay with all of that. So, yeah, that's how I feel about all that shit. VOD that shit, Toho. Come on, don't diss us like that. Y'all don't even care if it's like August 1st or 2nd, man. Just give us a VOD so we don't have to bootleg it. Think about it. Be smart about it. Be smart about it. We're going to bootleg it if you don't. I'll pay the $10. I will pay for it. The wife ain't here, so I'll say this shit out loud. I don't care. She'll probably hear it later. She'll punch me in my face, but I don't care. Listen, I'll have a contest on the G Show page, okay? Listen to me. And I will pay. I will pay for, like, the first 10 people who answer whatever question correctly or just whatever the fucking thing I would think of. I will pay for their VOD. Toho, if you do it, I will pay for them to watch that movie. You know? Not you guys, though. You guys don't get a pass. You get to be on the podcast, so fuck y'all. But anyway. All right,
I'll
so...
make a fake account.
Yes.
Can I say something really quick?
Of course you can.
I was going to say, speaking of the G14, I remember when the official trailer came out and there was not much Godzilla. We were all pissed because we wanted to know what Godzilla looked like. And I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks before the movie came out. I think it was called the Asian trailer or whatever. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was called like the Asian trailer.
Out of like the 7 trailers they put out.
Yeah, which was that was the first one that they actually showed Godzilla, like him being flown into the bridge, and then him roaring and it says "Let them fight." That was the last part of that trailer. But that came out like 3 or 4 weeks after, before the movie came out. So maybe Toho is kind of like doing the same thing where we'll wait till like the very end, like the last 2 weeks, and then show this on the trailer. Because that's what Garrett Edwards did.
Well, you got to remember one thing. In 2013, we had the Godzilla experience at Comic-Con. And they showed Godzilla there. They showed him. He walked by the window, and you got a full view of Godzilla walking by, and then his head came up in view of the window. Now, I will say this. When you see Godzilla walking by in that Godzilla experience, that's the Godzilla we got in 2014. When he puts his face up into the window, that was not the Godzilla we got in 2014. That looked a lot more like Toho Godzilla. That had like a 1984, 85 feel in the face. But it was awesome nonetheless. I mean, I was blown away. But we did get a full...
Creepy shit, man. I loved it.
Yeah, we did pretty much get like a full body shot of Godzilla walking by. Like, we saw...
I even watched that last night, too. It's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah, that Godzilla experience thing, that shit blew my mind. I loved it. So we actually did get to see Godzilla before that. And then the trailers were the trailers. You can't market a movie Godzilla without showing Godzilla in the trailer. That would be like really bad. Even if it was a snippet. But that Godzilla experience came out in 2013. They did show Big G. But I do agree with what you're saying as far as the international trailers go, where they really showed everything. They weren't
Like
teasing us.
Atomic breath.
I don't even remember. Did they show that? I don't remember that.
They spoiled the atomic breath in the trailer.
Well, check that out. I didn't watch that shit because I know when to stop watching.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, it is time to stop watching because I'm putting an end to the podcast. Oh, that was fucking crazy. But anyway, listen. Great podcast. Great show. I want to thank my panel for joining me today. Unless anybody got any final thoughts. Because I always do that, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's jump down the line. G95, final thoughts.
Well, I think we've covered everything.
See, that's what I like about you. You're always to the point, man. Don't do that shit on the Star Wars podcast this week because we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I know.
G73, final thoughts.
Final thoughts is that I'm going to be up the next couple of days on the internet a lot.
I love you, bro. Mothra, thank you for joining us. Any final thoughts?
Pretty much what he just said. I'm gonna be up. I'll be looking for news. I'm not a big sleeper, so I'll be searching all night and all day. So I'm very excited this weekend. And if there's the weekend there's gonna be news, it'll probably be this weekend. So I'll be up.
I agree. Well, thank you all my panel guests for being on here. Mothra, G95, G73. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. I am G1, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you from the best damn Godzilla podcast I've ever been on because it is the only damn Godzilla podcast I've ever been on. I am G1, and I'm telling you, look out, G-Fest. It's coming. Peace.